Here we are, Stage One Podcast, Stoop to Store, Legacy to Legal, and we have a very, very special guest right now. We have from VERDANT Strategies, Rachel Wright, who is like a wizard of an accountant and does amazing work, and honestly, like, it's so fucking knowledgeable about so much, not just like accounting in general, which the space, we've talked about it on the podcast many times. The accounting space in cannabis in general is a nightmare. It's really hard to traverse. You really have to pay attention, and it's not very fair.
Correct.
Can we, from a like I talk about it from a dispensary owner perspective regularly, from an accountant perspective, can you just give a kind of a brief overview of like how unfair it has been with regards to 280E, and how maybe there's a little bit of light coming at the end of the tunnel, maybe at some point. Touch on that a little bit for me?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've worked in cannabis for over 11 years. So we work with a lot of legacy operators for a long time. We've seen all their struggles. Every operator has arrows coming at them from all different angles, right? And one of the major ones is obviously taxes. And federal taxes is one thing, and then you've got state and local taxes is another thing. So I know we're in New York right now. New York, gratefully, your tax system is a lot easier and a little bit more fair.
On a state level, yeah.
On a state level here, it's actually really good. In California, it's a nightmare. So half the audits we're doing is at the state and local level, and that's most of the defense that we're doing.
Oh, wow.
Because they have tax on tax on tax.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the difference between like a New York and a California. So from my perspective, we have like our like 13% excise tax, and then there's like a 9% tax that we are getting charged from the vendors that we don't. It doesn't come across like in that some people send it on the invoices, but a lot of people don't. So it's like it's a little weird, but that tax is included. They have to pay. It's a tax that they have to pay though, right? So then do you feel like that kind of simplifies it for us?
Yeah, I mean, at least you don't have the tax on tax problem.
Right.
So for retailers, you have your excise tax portion, and then you have your sales tax portion as well.
Yeah.
But they're not layered.
Yeah, they're not layered. You only pay sales tax on non-cannabis stuff, and you pay excise tax on your cannabis stuff. Yeah.
And so when you pay your state tax, included in that is your local tax already.
Yeah.
So you don't have to file a local tax return.
No, you don't.
So that's awesome.
It is.
So in that way, you're kind of lucky. I know there's a lot of other things like 280E is obviously a pain for most people, but it's only a pain if you don't understand it. And I think there's a lot of ways to mitigate 280E that people don't really understand, especially in the newer markets.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into all the details because some of that is a little bit of it's a little proprietary, but let's just say there's a host of different ways that you could take advantage of not paying more than what you're willing to pay, more than what a normal business would pay, with a little bit of a caveat. With a little bit of a caveat. I mean, you're going to still get a little bit of a 280E penalty in a way.
No, there is. It's not like we're paying taxes like we're a normal business, but the way that you've helped us kind of see things, it's really opened our eyes to how we can utilize some of the mechanisms that we already had set up.
Yes.
A little bit better. And honestly, it's really been helpful and super useful information. But it's like we consider ourselves pretty knowledgeable in the subject, and so it's been hard for us to like find the right person who like knows more than we do.
Right.
I guess is the best way to put it. And you absolutely do. So
thank you.
Be able to come in, like, you said, oh, you guys are like almost there.
Yes.
Here's what you can do.
Yeah.
To improve, and it's like it's super fucking helpful, and it's also like validating to know that we're on the right track and we have great people on our team.
Yeah. And I mean, ultimately, We also have to look at not just the operation, but what are your personal goals as owners?
That's right.
That is 100% like the engine behind everything. So when we think about like tax planning, it's not just, we have to think of your whole ecosystem, your personal life, your
Any other
investors'
businesses
life.
we might have.
If you have investors, you have stakeholders. Think about, well, what if we were to accidentally push a bunch of income to them? Are they expecting it?
Right.
Are they expecting it on their tax return? And if they aren't expecting it, there isn't that transparency, then people are going to be really upset. So it's making sure that the end user, which here is the individual taxpayer,
Yeah.
that ecosystem must be taken into consideration and what each individual's goals are. Because one person in your portfolio, let's say one investor or one partner, they may want a more aggressive tax position, but you might not, you know? And so it's like you have to balance out all those different risk appetites and end goals.
Yeah, so we have four partners, and we absolutely had to like agree on a tax strategy, and the level of aggressiveness we wanted to take. And what I really loved about working with you is that you were like, whatever your comfort level is, well, I'll do. So you tell me where your appetite is, and we'll figure it out, and I'll tell you the best way to achieve that. And you weren't like pushing one way or the other. You were just very like, what you need, I'm here for you. This is your, and I'm not going to put you in a bad position, but I'll tell you, and I'll help you, advise you on where you are comfortable. And that was really reassuring, and you did definitely help us find that. So
thank you. I mean, I guess when you've been through the audits and you've seen a lot of people are scared of the word audit or IRS, and honestly, it's nothing to be scared of. And so when you've already been through those multiple times successfully, you don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I think but that's step one of running a business, is making sure your tax is in order. And then the next thing is really understanding your KPIs, your key performance indicators, right?
Yep.
So there's different performance indicators for retail stores, for vertically integrated companies, for cultivators. And if you think about it, then you have to take in consideration where the market is at that time. Is it more price compressed? What is supply?
It changes so rapidly too, doesn't it? It's like, that's what I'm finding out here is that in these 2 years, I feel like I've seen, we all say cannabis, you age, how many years?
7 years.
7 years per year. So we're already 2 years in. That puts us at 14 years in right now, and it's like, and that's the running joke, but it's absolutely true. Everything changes so quickly from market to market in every different market, and it's your job to stay on top of that. Like my mom did taxes. She like worked for the state, and then she retired, and then she worked for H&R Block for like 20 years. And like got another 401k from H&R Block after she retired from the state of New York. So that's why I'm like that's why my tax knowledge is where it's at. She always did my taxes. She always educated me on it. So I kind of knew what I was talking about. And you're like, I don't know, I've always remember her having to learn on just regular taxes. The tax law changes every year. So you always have to take a new class. You'd always have to, but you're in cannabis, which just complicates everything 100-fold. You have to stay on top of all that because every state's different. And every market's different, and you're in multiple places. So
across the country and across
that's what brought you here to Cannabis Means Business, because you're so good at that they have you speaking on panels, right? Did you speak on a panel?
It was an international U.S. panel. So, because we love traveling, right? You love traveling.
I love traveling.
And so you love traveling. It's like, okay, this is, we have businesses so that we can make our life's dreams come true, right?
That's right.
And so that's the end goal. Like if we want to be able to travel. So I got a degree in international tax. I have two master's degrees in tax, one in international tax. And I said, you know what? I'm going to I want to be able to travel. I'm going to get a degree in international tax so I could write off all these expenses.
Because you're going to go, you're going to work when you're traveling.
Yeah, exactly. This is like, I'm going to be able to write it off if I have a degree in international tax. I know that's not solid tax.
No, that's not solid tax advice. But if you're going over there and you're doing taxes for people internationally, then you can write off that trip.
Yeah, but that's the funny thing is, like about 3 years ago, cannabis went international.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I don't have to do expat tax returns. I can help cannabis businesses, not just with tax, actually, with all their, like, because I do a lot of operational work. I worked in companies, all of that. And so it begins with tax, and it ends up working its way through the whole organization. And
you're a connector. The number of people that I've already met through you, too. You know, we're here.
This here right now.
Right? We're here because of you. You recommended us to the, and we're having a great time, and it's been amazing. And you're like a connector.
I love connecting people. If somebody says, hey, I need a license here, hey, I've got money or whatever, and it's like I go through my internal database. And you said you do podcasts, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a podcast row. Man, you got to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the fun of it. Like, this industry is a blast. Speaking of rescheduling, descheduling, honestly, like the way I kind of see that, I've seen any time the laws change in a way that is supposed to be favorable to small and medium businesses, it always screws them.
That's true.
So to be honest with you, so I visited in Amsterdam. Yeah, I visited in Amsterdam, and I got to
be optimistic. But
right? No. We don't want them to touch it because this is just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And I was in Amsterdam. Here's kind of like a little bit of story, and I met one of the retailers out there, one of the biggest, oldest retailers as a result of networking, called Big Dog, and they're in Amsterdam. They've got a couple of blocks, and I've just heard the story of how does the cannabis get into the store, right?
Right.
Nobody knows how the cannabis gets in the store. It gets dropped off by a ferry, or it gets dropped off out of the sky. Because the secret is the cannabis is not legal to get there.
Right.
Like there's no way for it to legally get there.
Get there on a wholesale level.
Right. And so they want legalization. I'm like, you might not want it.
Right.
Because look, if you build
it's decriminalized, but it's not legal technically. Right. So how does it get? You can sell it in the cafes, but you can't buy it on a wholesale level. So how does that happen?
How does it get to the stores? Right. Nobody knows. So when I ask people the question, they're like, "Oh, it just magically appears on our shelves,"
Yeah.
And that's so funny. But like here in like rescheduling, descheduling, I honestly think it would destroy the small businesses, and that. The small businesses are the people in our neighborhoods.
Right.
That's me, you. That's all of our neighborhoods. It's all the people that are employed by us. And that's what keeps a vibrant culture and a vibrant society.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's what I'd love to keep alive for as long as possible, because I've seen regulations destroy.
So do you think like descheduling is like the step closer to federal legalization, and once federal legalization happens, that's when all the small businesses are destroyed, because that's when like the Walmart of weed comes in and takes everything over and there's no more of us anymore?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because there's two minds of it. That could happen.
Yeah,
that's what people are saying. But then also, like, would you rather go into 7-Eleven and buy a joint or something? Do you want the experience?
Right.
So I think if we're providing the experience, the culture, cannabis culture is a culture.
It is, absolutely.
At the end of the day, right? Yeah. And so,
I mean, you can buy a bottle of liquor in Walmart, but you can also, in certain states anyway, but you can also go to your neighborhood liquor store.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if it'll be more like that type of model, and then the people who do it well, like if you run a really tight liquor store and you have a great selection, you curate the right thing.
Yeah.
But then it just makes it harder. It definitely
makes
will
it harder.
cripple a lot of people. And I can see that perspective 100%.
And then the culture goes away if you take the soul out of it.
If you take the soul out of it.
And so
the corporatization will definitely find its way. That's a very unique perspective in terms of like against wanting to legalize fully, like the state by state kind of thing. Is a rollout that actually protects it, kind of.
Yeah.
As opposed to if it went federally legal, it would be fucking bastardized really quickly, and everything will be ruined.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that because I want to keep my job because of 280E, because that has nothing to do with it.
No, I totally believe
because
you.
if you know how to circumvent 280E, then you really, not circumvent, that's a bad word, but like if you know how to do it right,
play within those lines.
Yeah,
right.
And you don't have to worry about it. Then you're not vying for rescheduling so bad.
Right, exactly.
You know, I want to keep the heart and soul in this industry. Like, I've seen this booth, I've seen you, I've seen your team. Your team's awesome. Like, you guys are in it. You're in the culture. I see everybody coming to say hi. And this is why we're in this industry.
Exactly.
This is it.
This is the soul of it,
love
for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Rachel, it's been a pleasure.
You're amazing.
Your
team's amazing.
I always learn something when I talk to you, whether it's on the phone about whatever we're doing, or now in front of some microphones and in front of a camera. I always learn. That's why I was really eager to have you on. I really appreciate you taking the time and helping us even get to this level. And it's honestly, I'm so happy to know you.
Well, I'm happy to know you and see you're doing an amazing business with amazing people and an awesome community, and it shows. I can see it.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody, give it up for Rachel Wright, VERDANT Strategies. She didn't even plug her business. She just came here and taught and like gave the, dropped a bunch of jewels on us.
Yeah, that's the point.
Please plug your business real quick.
Oh, I'm Rachel Wright with VERDANT Strategies and 420 CPA, born and bred out of California.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rat deals, pills, and exclusive, come slide.
I be on that OG, fire by the OG, piling up the roaches, got me feeling rosy, higher than